Destiny 2 Monty Carlo Weapon Review. Anyway, the Monty Carlo is a good old auto rifle from way back in Destiny 1 that's been brought back in Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. And, well, let's just say I used to be a very big fan of this gun, especially way back when. Like, I liked it. It was pretty good. And also, it was pretty unique, and I liked the design of the gun. And now I'd say it's kind of changed in a way that makes it so, like, I used it in PvP. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that great in PvP to begin with, but with a certain build, it actually was pretty good. But when it comes to PvE, though, back then it wasn't all that special, but now I think it's a whole lot better because there's one perk on here which I'll discuss. Basically, the main gist of this weapon is the fact that when you deal damage, you'll refuel your melee. And if you get a kill, you have a chance of fully restocking your melee, which is pretty cool. Which can be good for PvE if you're using like a smoke type thing, so you can invis or crowd control stuff, or as a crazy throwing knife guy and just spam throwing knives everywhere, which is pretty cool, especially since the next perk, aka Markov Chain, basically, if you get a melee kill on Guardian or Ad, it'll refill this gun's magazine. So basically, if you're using like Way of the Thousand Cuts or anything on Gunslinger, really, since they all have throwing knives, just shoot a little bit, pop a throwing knife, and it'll reload the magazine and keep shooting. And also, another thing on the Markov Chain perk is the fact that when you get kills, it'll ramp up the damage. And if when you get melee kills, it'll also ramp up damage and also refill the magazine. So basically, think of it um, like Swashbuckler plus Rampage in a way. So it's got those two things that two separate perks do, but in one, which is pretty cool. And they're both damage dealing buffs, which are, kind of a big deal, especially in PvE when there's an absolute ton of enemies that are kind of weak, even though this gun's DPS isn't the best without the perk, but at least it's good enough to take care of a few ads. And when it starts ramping up, it can ramp up to like ×5, if I remember correctly. Yeah. It goes up way up. It kind of like Swashbuckler. It goes beyond just the level 3 of Rampage, which is pretty cool. And other than that, it has a high impact reserve, so if you do throw it into PvP, you will be doing a little bit on the flinch side of things, so you may throw somebody else's aim off. But then again, I already tested it in PvP. Wasn't that great, but against the AI bots around here, they're very good. Especially against any random ad. Like I'd say they're very good against taking phalanxes because those things have shields that push you around everywhere. You can use the high impact rounds to stun lock them and stop them from doing that, which is pretty good. And overall, I'd say this weapon is pretty good. Not as great like as some other weapons in there. Like this is an exotic, so it will take the place of like a 1K voices and whatnot. Is it worth it? Probably not in the right and wrong encounters, but if there is an encounter for this thing, go ahead and use it. Like if it's mostly ad clearing and mostly mechanics based, not really much on DPS, go ahead. But if you need damage per second, you really need to get that boss out of here. I'm not sure if this weapon is going to be it, since the base damage on this thing is not that great. It's more of a rate of fire type gun, more of a tickler than a rocket launcher. So anyway, Monte Carlo is back in the game, and what are your thoughts on it? Like mine, it's pretty good PvE gun. Not that great in PvP, although I haven't tested it out with any other new builds yet. And also I have it on my Hunter. I want to see what you guys think of it on any other class, like good old Titan, Warlock, etc. But anyway, I'll see you guys later in another video. I am out of here.